Right, ELBC, bro. East London's biggest competition, bro. We've got brothers from North Tottenham.
Is this radio thing's a bit new, isn't it?
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Barakallah fiqh, jazakallah khair for tuning in. You are on Ramadan Radio 87.9 FM. I am back, alhamdulillah, this week from last week. I have a very special guest today. Do you want to introduce yourself, Sheikh?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Not
Sheikh,
salam, mashallah, mashallah.
Just because I'm dressed like this, I'm just trying to dress modestly.
I tell the brother that I call him Sheikh because, like, you know, of like respect and elderly age. I'm trying to feel young.
I'm pretty sure I'm younger than you.
I'm trying to feel young, man. I'm trying to feel young, mashallah. So yeah, we got Abu Sufyan on the show, mashallah. Brothers of from Tottenham, wasn't it? Mashallah.
Born and raised Tottenham, then I moved to East London.
Mashallah, mashallah. Where in East are you from, if you don't mind me asking?
Stratford.
Stratford, mashallah. So funnily enough, we just spoke literally in the last minute or two, so we just familiarized prior to coming to the show, and we know each other. Like, he knows my uncle, and I seem to know his.
Yeah.
It's a small world, brother. It's a small world. That's how Bengalis operate. Any viewers or any listeners listening in, I'm sure they know. They can familiarize.
Yeah.
If you basically meet another Bengali, you're related.
Yeah, it's
That's
true.
just how it goes. You're literally related. So anyone out there, you're ending up marrying your cousins. That's just how it goes. So yeah, today's show, we wanted to do one on what we call real life, real topics. So we wanted to do one on change and just life in general and things around mental health. I think it's a very important topic to talk about in terms of the mental health of some of our brothers, especially out there. It's a topic that a lot of people don't speak about. Personally, I've seen in the field that, alhamdulillah, I've worked in the last 10 years, that you have a lot of support networks for sisters, mashallah, Allahumma barik. But when it comes to brothers don't really have support networks. And even if they do, they probably don't access it for many reasons. And this is why I thought I'll bring Abu Sufyan so we can have a little discussion. And for people obviously listening in, as I mentioned, do call in on 0203621759. And obviously I'll be asking Abu Sufyan general questions around his life and just how it has been for him in terms of a young adult growing up in the hood. Tottenham knows of the hood. You know, when I was young, what happened in Tottenham?
What?
I remember I used to go visit my uncle and he used to tell me, bro, people just used to take each other's socks, bro. That's just what used to happen. Yeah, like, you know, when we used to talk about robberies and stuff. In East London, we used to hear about stuff like people taking wallets, people stealing each other's chains. The stories I used to hear about Tottenham is that they'll take your socks.
I've never heard that in my life.
That must have been some Tottenham thing, bro.
I've never heard that.
North thing, bro. They don't want to acknowledge that, bro. One of the brothers are going around with no
He's
socks.
just trying to put dirt on Tottenham.
So yeah. So in terms of Abu Sufyan, obviously tell us a bit about your upbringing in general, in terms of life growing up as a young adult within the Tottenham area and stuff. Where did you grow up? Did you grow up in a hood, a neighborhood? Was it an affluent?
No, I grew up in Tottenham, a estate called Ferry Lane.
Okay, mashallah.
I wasn't in this whole gang thing when I was young, you know. The maddest thing is, I'm like, a lot of people, they start from really, really young. Okay. And I didn't, alhamdulillah. I was one of those ones where I was kind of still trying to figure out my crowd. I didn't know who to hang around with, and I had so many different circles.
Okay.
And alhamdulillah, I think because of that, I just kind of get along with everyone. But I think after I left secondary school, that's when I kind of hit this whole road thing. My head was just in a mad place. And I just started doing so much silly things to just keep my mind off stuff I was going through.
So this is what I want to tap into. When you say like in secondary school, was there like specific things that were occurring? Was it like related to around friends? Was it events within life that you might want to share that sort of led you towards making certain choices?
You know what? I think not just with me, but a lot of people, it's like I said, I was going from hanging around from different circles and just trying to find in a circle that I like hanging around with. Then I got mixed up with the wrong crowd. And then that's when my life just spiraled out of control. And I think one of the most important things, like I've always said, is if you're around the wrong company, well, just know your life is going to go sideways real quick.
Subhanallah, that goes into that whole prophetic hadith about you are on the religion of your brother, as in the company. And I narrated this last week about the fact that one can go into a perfume shop. He doesn't necessarily need to put perfume on himself, but he'll smell a perfume when he walks out the shop.
That's a good one.
So similarly, the prophetic narration of one can go into a place where obviously there's a blacksmith. He doesn't need to necessarily do anything what the blacksmith does, but he'll come out with blacksmith dirt on him. So similar to how a company operates. And I was even saying it like, can you imagine if you're around 10 brothers, even if you're not someone that generally prays, if 10 brothers are saying, yo, brothers, we're going to the masjid, you're going to end up going regardless. You don't want to be standing out in the cold.
Yeah, it's true.
And if 10 brothers are saying, yo, we're hitting the scene, you know, we're going partying, it doesn't matter, brothers, how big your beard is.
Yeah, I said it before. I remember watching it on a video that when I first started getting into this whole counseling thing, it said, if you're around 5 poor people, you're going to be the 6th. You're around 5 drug addicts, you will be the 6th. You're around 5 millionaires, you'll be the 6th. It's always like that. You are a product of your environment, innit? The kind of people you're around and stuff like that.
Mashallah. So there's a tip for the public. Be around positive people.
Of course.
How would you sort of advise the public in terms of how to be around positive? Because a lot of brothers and sisters that are listening in might try and say that it's quite difficult to find good company. How would you sort of seek good company?
It's true. 100% it is. But it's about where you're going to find this good company. If you're looking for practicing people, good Muslims, just people that are on the deen, where would you go? Where would you think you'd find them?
Do you know where I would go? When I look at my life, honestly, I think it's about finding hobbies. Like for me personally, when I look at my life when I was growing up as a young adult, I'm an old man now, innit? Grey hairs, as you can probably see. I know the listeners now think that can't see it, but bruv, a lot of grey hair on my left-hand side of this ear and stuff. When I was growing up, I'll be honest, I used to like a lot of like going out and about. So I remember they used to have these fundraising events where they would do like these walks. And I remember one of my first walks was with Interpel, where they did this east to west walk. Literally, they started, bro, in East London, Upton Park, and we walked to South.
That's mad.
That was like a 12, 13 hour like walk. And because I enjoyed that, I was like, you know what, let me just go out for a day out. Let me see if I can even do this walk. And just go into that environment. At first, I was a bit reluctant, I'll be honest. I went there thinking, I'm going to go with one or two brothers I went with, and I thought, yeah, I'll just go there, but I'm not going to chat to nobody, bro. But then you end up talking to these brothers. And this is something I've seen, that when I was in those environments, a lot of the brothers I met, wallahi, even though I knew them for like a day, for a week, they probably done more things in terms of showing love and care than people I knew for 10, 15 years. Because you know, like, it's selfless love, innit? Most of the brothers in these environments, to be honest, they don't know you.
Yeah, it's true.
But it's selfless love. Like, and they'll be at your door, bro, 2 a.m, bro. If I call, I know the 5 brothers now, if I needed something support, if I called them 2 a.m, they'll come. But then there's other brothers I knew for 20 years, bro. Unless there's some benefit for them, they call it a benefit, they wouldn't come, bro. There's no selfless love. And this is the thing I've seen, that you have to almost force yourself to go into these environments. And that's the tip I would give. When I look at my life, that, you know what? I found something that I enjoyed, like, for example, doing these walks, fundraising walks, like something about like jumping off a plane and stuff. I kind of backed out at that one. I didn't really do that one.
No, I'll be looking forward to that. I want to do that soon, inshallah. But basically, yeah, so going back to what you said, same thing, yeah. So those are the kind of environments that you'll find good people. You'd find them in masjids, obviously the most basic place, masjid, or events, charity events, this, that. These are, like you said, selfless people, the kind of people that you need around you, the kind of people that, okay, look, a person that really cares about you is not someone that cares about what you're doing in this life, but also the hereafter.
True.
Yeah. So a lot of the time, if you've got the kind of friend, oh, I'm going to go out, clubbing, drinking, stuff like that, they're the first person there, they're only there for the fun. And then when it comes to the nitty gritty, oh, bro, I'm going through this, someone in my family passed away, or I want to sort my life out, and they're nowhere to be seen, then obviously straight away, you know, that's not a good friend.
Sure.
But then you've got the kind of person that doesn't matter what you go through in life, they're constantly reminding you about Allah, constantly reminding you, listen, you need to come out of this. This is haram. You need to sort your life out. Come away from this. Those are the kind of friends you need around you. But then one thing is, we're speaking the other day, I was with some brothers here, we're speaking about people have that love for the people in their past a lot. They find it hard to let those people go, because like you said, you've known them for 20 years. But you know they're no benefit to your life. But it's because you've known them for so long, you have that kind of like an emotional attachment to them. But you know they're not good for you. But there's nothing wrong with keeping them around. There's nothing wrong at all. But what you should do is maybe distance yourself for a little bit. Go focus on yourself. Fix yourself. Get yourself there right mentally, Islamically. Get yourself in a good place. And then go back and help them.
You know, they have a saying, I remember I read it in a Buddhist quote. It's actually a Buddhist quote. You can care from a distance. True love can be done from a distance.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I remember when I read that, bro, I was going through a heartbreak, bro. And then I read that, and it said that if you really love a girl, let her go. I'm serious. Literally, that's what the book said. If you love a girl, let her go. Love her from a distance. You don't need to go next to her.
Yeah.
So for anyone out there, bro, that's going through heartbreaks, if you really love her, let her go. And if you want to know who quoted it, it was Buddha or something. I read it in a book years back. And I sat there thinking, that's true, you know. That's selfless love, like to stay away from people at times, abstain. So same with friends and stuff. That you can be like, you know what, this individual, I can care for him from a distance or care for her from a distance. I don't necessarily need to be in their life, especially if the hobbies are different, innit? Like I said, everyone's going through pathways.
There's a quote that I keep mentioning a lot. It's that you can't pour water from an empty cup. You need to go and focus on yourself. Make sure that you've got something to give back to the people that you care about. Because if you've got nothing to give, you're literally just wasting time. And there's another thing that I learned when I first started practicing, is that through every conversation, somebody is giving dawah to the other.
True.
So if you're not teaching them your way, the right way, then best know they're teaching you. 1,000,000%. And if you're around these crazy guys, it could be a crackhead, it could be just someone completely jahil, and you're not trying to guide them to your path, they're guiding you to theirs. And then later on, you'll find like anything with like anyone you're around, if those people are doing stuff like practicing, praying salah, reading Quran, watching reminders, that stuff becomes normal to you. So then if you go into a group of people that don't do anything like that are completely jahil, you'll start to feel a bit alien. Like, oh wait, they'll try to make it out that you're not normal. Like, yo, what are you doing now? Watching videos, because when we're trying to chill, we're trying to play PlayStation, we're trying to socialize. Like, there's a time. This is not the time for that. Those are the kind of people you don't want to be around. You want to feel okay. You want to feel like you're doing better. If getting closer to Allah is what you want, people that remind you of Allah is the people you need to be around. It's kind of simple, isn't it?
I'm just gonna again every now and then, every 15 minutes, just remind people that obviously we're on radio 87.9 FM. Do obviously spread it amongst your friends and family, and you can call in on 0203 621 7590. I got some questions that I'm gonna sort of ask Abu Sufyan. In terms of mental health, because obviously you said that you want to obviously touch on mental health in terms of like getting into the field and obviously supporting people around mental health. What do you think are the three things that brothers and sisters, young adults, are like the tipping points around what affects their mental health? From basically the interaction you've had with people of similar age or young adults, in terms of what affects their mental health, what derails them towards having poor mental health?
Like the most common ones.
Yeah. Three of them. Three things that you feel like, yeah, these are the causes that really affect a young adult in terms of poor mental health.
All right. For women, I say most of the time it's stuff to do with relationships. Doesn't necessarily mean relationship with their partner. Could be with their family and stuff like that.
Do you think it's just for women though? Do you not think men are similar?
I'll come to the men one. Men one, okay. Yeah, it's true. Men, another one with it is relationship one, as well as, again, it's not just their spouse, but I say with men, a lot of the time it is with their spouse. And then it kind of affects them to do stuff in the outside life. So men and women, yeah, it's true. Both of them, relationship issues. And with them, I say the most common issue is not understanding one another. Okay. So it's, if sometimes you sit from an outside perspective and you look at a couple. So there's a couple that I know, obviously I don't need to mention their name. I already do like couples counseling for them.
Okay.
And it's pretty simple sometimes when you sit from an outside perspective. It's like you're not listening to what she's trying to say. A lot of the issues that you get with married couples, actually not just married couples, it's everyone, even when you're speaking as family, it's that everyone wants to constantly mention, but you did this to me, but you did this to me, but you did this. And instead of them actually trying to come to a solution and sort it out, they just want to tell the other person what they did to hurt me. And so long as you know that, we'll carry on, just hold a grudge and no one's going to forgive each other, and they carry on.
They're trying to prove themselves right, and it's
yeah,
ego
it's about who comes across as bad. Like, if I was to have a convo, it's for me to show you that you're the bad guy, not me. But it shouldn't be like that. It should be, look, this is the problem. This is how in Islam we're meant to be. And in that way, then we know how to move forward. We have role models that we can turn to. And these role models are perfect. Alhamdulillah, they're in our lives for a reason. But again, if you marry somebody and you both have no Islam in your life, who do you turn to? Who do you look at and say, look, this is how we're supposed to be? No one. Look at people like Jay-Z and stuff like that. I
Jay-Z and
think this is
Beyonce.
yeah.
Jay-Z's with Beyonce.
And Will Smith and that. Oh my God.
Of that slap, bro. That slap.
You see what I mean? These are the role models to turn to. And look, again, when it comes to socializing, these
Do you think that slap was alright though? Would you have slapped him?
Yeah, 100%, but not
I've got a question here that someone sent. Would you have slapped him?
Not on TV.
You wouldn't have slapped him on TV?
No.
So you would have just closed the camera off and given him one?
Yeah.
Under dark hours that no one sees?
Yeah, if it's like someone
when they switch the camera back on, my man's just on the floor.
They're
like,
both.
what happened there?
No, they're both from that one cultural thing, innit? So it's like, for me, it'll be like if it was a Muslim, you'd never embarrass a Muslim in front of everyone else. You'd guide him privately. And then afterwards, because he embarrassed you publicly, you best go make a public apology now. Do you know what I mean? You better go right your wrongs.
So you mentioned obviously things around relation. I think that's true. Like a lot of the, not just young, I'm not going to keep saying young, because we assume that it's only just young people.
It's actually elderly people more.
Elderly. You'll be surprised how many 50-year-olds are probably sitting in our masjids, are sitting amongst us that are going through all these difficulties, mental health. And when I say mental health, by the way, I just want to sort of put it as a note that when someone comes to you and says mental health difficulties, that does not necessarily mean that you're strange. I think this is the one thing I learned working in mental health, that when we say this individual is suffering from mental health issues,
everyone is though.
Yeah, because we assume that, it just means they're taking tablets and they probably want to stab someone. Honestly, that is the image that a lot of people get. This individual is mentally unwell. It must mean that, you know, they're crazy. And if you give them a knife, they're going to stab you or they want to commit suicide. You know, anytime
it's true.
You're not like ecstatic in your health, in terms of your mental health, that they regard as a mental health difficulty. So even if, for example, people break up, like you mentioned, in a relationship, whatever relationship it is, and you get upset and a little anxiety takes over, they regard it as a mental health difficulty. The time where they diagnose it is when it goes into extreme sort of responses, where someone, for example, locks themselves away for weeks and months on ends and is not eating. That's when they'll generally diagnose an individual. Because I know that from the listeners that are listening right now, if they all went to their doctors and sort of said, and this is the common thing now, when people go to the doctors, straight away they'll just diagnose you that, oh yeah.
The maddest thing is, I don't know anyone that's not going through some kind of mental health issue. They just have trouble identifying it. And in couples, with them, like I said, it's hard for them to understand one another. Look, the basic principle of men and women is that you got to understand that you're both built different. Yeah, women are built on emotions and men are built on logic. Now, the two clash because you think the other is programmed to be the same you are. So a man will talk to his wife and be, okay, this is what's happened. I'm angry about this. And this is what's happened. This is the problem. And a man will want to come to a solution because logically that's what he's programmed to do. Look, this is what's happened. Cool, let's find a solution. But the woman, they want to talk about it first. They want to let out how they were feeling. This is that, because they want you to understand that this is how I feel and I'm not happy about it. And they want that comfort. Like I said, they're emotional beings. And so again, this is the problem now. A woman wants to talk to the man and let her feelings, and she wants him to let out his feelings.
You don't want to listen, bro. He's like,
okay. So yeah, exactly. So what ends up happening is the woman will talk to the guy, and then he'll say, look, here's a solution, here's a solution, here's a solution. But the woman say, no, but I want you to talk about it. Like, I want us to talk about it. It's like, but the man is programmed to just say, no, we know what the problem is. Let's just find the solution. The woman saying, no, I want to talk about it. But men don't see why the woman wants to do it, but it's just how we're programmed to do. Woman wants to sit down and talk about it, and a man was finding a solution. Then eventually what ends up happening is the woman just thinks, this guy's not listening to me. This guy don't care. This guy does not care about how I feel. But he's in his head, he's thinking, this woman, all she wants to do is talk. I'm trying to sort this out. All she wants to do is talk.
So what's the middle point then?
The middle point is that you have to understand the other person's perspective in this. So she wants to talk. She wants you to talk. And sometimes you don't realize that maybe talking will be a good thing. For her to understand how much it may affect her partner, maybe that will be the thing that makes her not want to do it again. You get what I mean? So it's
communication, basically.
Yeah. So one of the common things amongst especially Bengalis or like cultural people is, I don't want people to know my personal business. Yeah. So it's like, if we're having a problem, we sort it out privately. That's perfectly fine. Our women are not built like that. If you don't talk to your woman, they're going to go and seek help from X, Y, and Z. And some of those people may be the most toxic people And they're just there to say, yeah, man, he's so bad, man. This guy's messed up. You can go find better. This is that. Giving some jahil advice. But if she had maybe listened to the advice of her husband, they would have just come to a thing. They would have spoke about it later and sorted it out. And she would have not have got brainwashed from somebody else, which has made everything 10 times worse. However, he may have not been available for her to talk to, which is what's led for that to happen in the first place. But maybe if he did sit there and speak to her and let him know his feelings, like, listen, if you talk to other people, it's embarrassing for me. And I want to be the only person you talk to in your life. I want to be there for you for all your problems and stuff like that. Because generally that is what men want. We just have a hard time saying it.
It goes back to talking, innit? You know, when I look at, like, even if you read Sirah and stuff, the companions still used to talk to one another. They had still a body of network of support and stuff. And this is the one thing I want to sort of tell our listeners, because eventually we want people to, like I said, to be able to call in and obviously sort of relay their issues. Because ultimately, if brothers don't talk, they're going to talk to someone. Either they're going to talk to someone, like you said, that is not going to advise them well, or they're going to talk to themselves. Meaning they're going to advise themselves. And when a person advises himself with that third-party intervention and wise intervention.
The funniest thing I've seen is people that have never been married in their life are the ones that give advice to these married couples.
So,
what do you know about being married?
You want to give some advice, Sheikh? There's a third-party individual right now. He's like on the other side. He's been very quiet. Head down. I think he doesn't want to advise. He doesn't even want to, like, make anyone listen. Do you want to give some advice? No, he doesn't. He's just nodding, you know. He heard that sentence that, yeah, if you're not married, don't even get involved in this conversation.
No, but it happens a lot. And these people don't realize. Sometimes you have to make compromise and stuff like that. But a lot of the time, people are like, just tell each other, no, stand your ground. That person's in the wrong. This, that. Those are the worst people to be around.
I think when it comes to this honesty topic, when it comes to how people should mediate between their, like, marriage and stuff, it's best to go to people of knowledge, bro. People that have like 30, 40 years of marriage experience.
Yeah, and
just to go to
it
someone,
has to be
like
someone you both agree on.
Yeah.
If it's not someone you both agree on, then you're in trouble. One of you is going to get upset. One of you is not going to like it.
So, okay, so again, obviously, tapping on the whole concept of obviously mental health and men. Why do you think men don't speak about stuff? Why do you think it's a taboo subject? Why do you think mental health amongst men is a taboo subject? Because there is these stats, by the way. I'm going to quote some stats that more men suffer from mental health than women.
Men have the highest suicide rate.
Yeah. And that's factual, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not some like fairy tale that I just plucked out. And it's like, I know it sounds a bit cliche, but it really is.
No, but you know,
even with dominantly now, we're living in East London, Tower Hamlets. I worked in, and I still work with the council, Tower Hamlets Council, as in a lot of the patients or clients, I should say, 70% demographically are Bengali. 80-90% are Muslim. You'll be baffled that the majority of all the referrals and clients who you get are predominantly male men. And mental health issues, it's not they were born. That's the thing. A lot of people think, they were born with mental health issues. No, they literally were what we call, I don't like using the word norm, but they were living like a norm life. Like, you know, they were going to school, college, and suddenly they had a breakdown.
Yeah, but I'm not the slightest a bit surprised. We're not, as men, we're not taught how to deal with these things. What's the most common answer you get as a man when you're going through something and you talk to someone?
Matisna. Should I translate that?
Not even just that.
So just for the brothers and sisters out there, they're like, what the hell did you just say? Matisna in Bengali just means don't talk.
Yeah.
Don't tell me.
And the other one,
man up.
Not just man up. I hate that. What do you mean, man up? I'm coming to talk to you about a problem I have. And men, like I said, we're programmed to try and find solutions. And then you've got a guy sitting beside you just there saying, man up. How does that help the situation at all?
So would you advise that brother? So let's say now I'm a brother.
No, but the thing
I've had a heartbreak.
Yeah, but
someone left me.
Again,
I'm 16.
It's about who you talk to too. You don't just talk to anyone. But that's where I feel like we've failed as a community. Why isn't there enough people for them to talk to? Why isn't there enough people at easy access? Like, I know that if I'm ever going through something, this is the person I can talk to. Anyone that knows me, alhamdulillah, well, from what I know, they know that if they can phone me whenever, if they're going through something, I'm there.
So it doesn't matter. 1 o'clock in the morning, Abu Sufyan, you're going to be there, yeah?
Allah is my witness. I'll always try my best.
There's another brother in the studio. We heard that one, by the way. Abu Sufyan's available 1 in the morning, bro. If I hear Abu Sufyan snoring when I call him 1 in the morning, Abu Sufyan, man.
No,
I've
obviously
got some issues, bro.
I might be sleeping, but I'll wake up.
Nah, bro. You better wake up now, bro.
Yeah, you think I'm joking? I can get people. I doubt people that will vouch for that. 1,000,000%.
Mashallah.
I've left my house 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I need to go see this guy, speak to this guy.
You come with carrot chai.
You know what it was? No, I'll mention why. It's a little bit of a personal thing to me, but I'll mention it. It's when I was young. Again, I'm not going to mention the names. I'm not going to mention the age, so people don't know who it is that I'm talking about. I had a very close friend of mine, and he did call me for something that he needed help with. And obviously, this is during Jahiliyyah. I thought it was more important to go and see female company. It was more fun to me. I was like, you know what? This one time, don't worry, you can go deal with this, bro. There's enough of you, man. You lot can go deal with this madness. Deal with it. It's fine. But normally I am there. This one time I wasn't. And then that time I was away. Then I get a call later. Bro, you need to get here quick. You need to get here quick. I've got there and I see my close brother got stabbed in his neck. He's passing out on the floor. And it's that one thing, if I had been there, maybe if I advised him even not to go, maybe if I just took a little step back and just analysed the situation properly, then maybe in my head I think maybe I could have saved him. Since then, I've always been available. My phone is never on silent. Even now, while my phone's on silent, it's facing up. I can see if I do get any messages, I'd be able to see it. If it's urgent, this, that, then I'd leave. I'd leave here and go and deal with what I need to do.
So you leave our famous radio show, bro. 7.9. No one's leaving. Not even you, the listener.
Then
if I find out any of the listeners are leaving, it don't matter, bro. That 1 hour, they're glued on right now.
Then I'll just answer the phone here. Then you look.
I don't know how many brothers and sisters are glued on to this 87.9 FM when we're here, bro.
But that's
no
the
one's
thing.
leaving.
It's. I feel like, and one thing is, alhamdulillah, one thing the way Allah tests people is that the way they become back stronger if they deal with it properly is that they will make sure that nobody goes through what they went through.
I totally agree with you. You know that whole thing that a lot of brothers, like, if you get a brother like messaging you randomly, which is a bit out of the norm, attend to him there and there, man. You need to be for people, like, be there for people at the time of need. I've seen that if you really want to care for someone, you need to care for them at inconvenience. 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, especially if a brother's randomly texting you or randomly calling and you're like, oh, this is a bit out of the norm. That means there's definitely something popping. We spoke about this, I think, 2 weeks back around the fact that if brothers generally are someone that's an extrovert, he's always out and about, and suddenly you notice he's going through these periods where he's not coming out as much. We need to get into these habits of actually checking up on one another.
But that's the thing. It's true. I've heard this again from a lot of people. No one cares about each other the way they should. Everyone's in their own bubble. And it doesn't take long to just phone someone and say, bro, how you doing? You're all right. If you don't have nobody that calls you out of the blue, how you doing? You're all right. How's everything? How's family? And be genuine about it. Not the fake ones. Oh, how you doing? How's family? This is that. Okay, let me get to the point.
I get those
this
Eid,
is what I need.
Eid Mubarak broadcasts.
Yeah, and like, oh, let me get to the point. This is what I'm talking about genuinely. Oh, I don't want nothing from you. Just how are you? How's family? How's health? This is that. You free to meet up? Let's go for iftar. If you don't have those kind of people in your life, you haven't got anyone decent in your life. You actually have no one decent. And the maddest thing is, if you go to speak to somebody, bro, probably like 80% of the people in your contacts, me as well, and ask them, have you got anyone like that in your life? I say no. Nobody.
But I remember my dad used to say this famous line that the friends that you count in your life will be on your hands at 5. You get 5 really.
As you get
friends.
older, yeah, you get less friends.
Yeah, like 5 real friends. Like, not saying obviously other people are not your friends, but like these will be your like trustees, your companions that get through life.
Even then, it's like some of them just put up a face. And I know a lot of people, they get stabbed in the back by the people they least expect it. There's so many of them. People get stabbed in the back by their own family. People get stabbed by the back. But it's
no, but it's about finding places, like you mentioned before, about finding places or environments where people are selfless. Like, I'll be honest, if I was to go to a place now, and let's say you go to a soup kitchen. So I'm giving practical examples for the listeners. Like, if you go to a soup kitchen or you go to like these charity events that I keep mentioning, generally people that volunteer there, they're not workers, they volunteer there. It's within their like nature that they're caring, because they're not going to be going and volunteering every week.
No, alhamdulillah,
so when you're in these environments, you meet these people. Wallahi, these are the people I would befriend.
Every year I get involved with this whole this Eid charity thing about praying Salah and that funfair in the park, because it's like reviving the Sunnah. You're not meant to pray Eid Salah in the masjid. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah,
you're actually not supposed to.
I know.
And obviously, it's for everyone to celebrate Eid in a good manner. So that's the charity that I get involved with. And yeah, you're right. Me being around there, the reason I've been involved in it since I was 15. And I can't ever let it go because it's like my yearly little iman boost. Meeting good people, seeing people putting smiles on their faces and stuff like that. Yeah, and if you're not involved in something like that in your life, how would you taste the sweetness of iman, as they say, the sweetness of the deen? If you're not doing something, giving back to the community, doing something for the sake of Allah, and then how would you know how good it is to feel the presence of Allah? You know what I mean? You'll feel everyone going by. People you don't know. Salams, how are you? If you're involved in the charity, they come and give thanks to you. They give you a quick reminder. MashaAllah, brother, you see what you're doing here. May Allah reward you. You get the reward of everyone that comes and participates. You get the reward of everyone's salah. And that's a nice reminder. And if you're around people that are not good people, oh, yo, let's get out of here. What do people do on Eid? Drink shisha. Shisha places, they disgust me the most.
Cars now, bro.
Where are you going to find what decent people are you going to find in a shisha place? Really and truly. Have you ever found any decent people there? Never. The amount of fitna and stuff that I hear in those places is ridiculous. And then afterwards, you're all you're around is in cars, racing. Obviously, I love racing. I love cars and stuff as well. But if you're around the right company, then it's not bad. But if you're around places like shisha places and all you do is go cinema and have these gather up in a car park and just talk rubbish with useless people, how far are you going to get?
So what you said before rang a bell. Actually had it on a little quote. وَالْجَزَاءُ الْإِحْسَانِ إِلَّا الْإِحْسَانِ. Is there anything other than good for those who do good? Quranic ayah, Surah Rahman. That Allah, obviously, it's a rhetorical question Allah asks his servants. That there's nothing else but good for those who do good. So one should always try being in a good environment for him. He or she will obviously receive good. All right, I'm going to ask you the next question that obviously come through and stuff. Obviously, you mentioned around mental health that one of the things, or amongst the three things that we said for you to mention, one of the major factors for the decline of mental health is a breakup of relationships. What's another thing that you feel like declines someone's mental health? Addictions too. What do you think is the biggest addiction now amongst men? We'll tap on men, because if I tap on women, like we're not really gonna be able to advocate for the psychology of women.
But really, truly, a lot of the addictions they're very similar. Everyone deals with addiction in the same way, but people are just addicted to different things.
What do you think from the interaction you've had amongst young people
with men? I'll say
they're addicted to.
With men, I say men are addicted to more materialistic things, or this whole thing about temporary pleasure. And most of the time, it's because they lack purpose.
Instant gratification, basically.
Yeah, and it's like they lack purpose. I remember we were talking about the other day. A man, obviously they say a man in the quote, but it's men and women. But a man who lacks purpose distracts himself with pleasure. It's got nothing to do. He don't know his purpose in life. All he wants to do is look for the next pleasure. What's the next fun thing? Tomorrow I'm going to wake up for a new distraction. Tomorrow I'm going to wait for something new to do. And then when they get bored, it's like, yo, I don't know what to do next. Then they start even looking for more stupid things. They're going to go and meet these clowns that will say, you know what, yo, have a bed at zoo. Trust me, you're going to feel good. You're going to feel relaxed. Then the next thing you know, you're addicted to weed. Then the amount of weed you're having is not enough. You need to have more. Then the time's going to come Ramadan time. Oh, I need to give up smoking. I need to start fasting, this, that. Then you give up for a little while. And then I've seen it. People on the second, third day of Ramadan, they're back on it. I only did the first fast and I wasn't strong enough to keep it. If you're not around good people and people, because when you're smoking weed, you know it's not normal when you're around certain people. You would never smoke in front of your mum and your dad because it's not normal. So you're going to go hang around with people that to them it is normal. But those people are never going to encourage you to stop smoking. You're going to say, yeah, I'm going to stop smoking. They're just going, yeah. Yo, yeah. Do you want to pull at this? That's it. That's the end of convo. Where you're going to meet decent people in a circle like that. So with them, it's weed. It's girls as well. Same thing with girls. If you're not like now, it's too easy to find girls. It's ridiculous now. There's so many apps and all these dating apps and crap. I'm not even going to mention them, but there's too many people on these silly dating apps. And what do these silly dating apps encourage? If you don't like this person, there's always someone else. There's no work in a relationship anymore. If you've gone through all these dating apps and then finally you get married and that marriage has the slightest bit of a hiccup, slightest bit of an issue, you've already been programmed for years that, oh, you know what? It's not working out. I'm gonna go find someone else.
Mm.
But look at our forefathers, our ancestors. How do you think they? I've seen families, mother and father fighting each other, literally physically fighting each other. They still won't get divorced.
Mm.
We have to sort it out. We're already married. That's it. There's no other option to it
Mm.
because that's the way they were raised. That's how it was normal. But nowadays, divorce is too common.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's everything that's not good for you is encouraged. It's normal now. The stuff that's not meant to be normal is normalized. The stuff that's good for you is made abnormal.
So, and what's the other thing that you feel like goes towards contributing towards the decline of mental health? You mentioned instant gratification. You mentioned what was the first thing that you mentioned? Relationships.
Relationship is the most common one. The
Anything else that you
addictions and
feel
stuff.
from your interaction with young adults declines towards or aids towards the decline of mental health?
I've mentioned it in both other ones, but your company is obviously I'll say is the third.
How would you promote good mental health? Because we talked about obviously what contributes towards its decline. How would you
No, it's good
promote?
that you said this here. A lot of people think that these things like positive affirmations and stuff like that is good for you, but I really disagree, you know.
Hmm.
See, when people listen to positive affirmations and stuff like that, what's the most common things they say? You'll find the way you are. Don't don't let anyone define you. You don't need to change and stuff like that. But I think that's all wrong. Because really and truly, a person like a narcissist will see it, something like that, and think, yeah, it's true, man. I need to stay the way I am. But no, you're a narcissist. You need to change. It's there's too many things like out there promoting stay the way you are. Go and find somebody that accepts the way you are. No, there's something wrong with you. Go and seek help. Go and change that. And yeah, I think there's too many things out there that promote this silly behavior, man.
I think when they say positive affirmation, obviously they're trying to refer to the fact that not to let someone define you. Like, you know, if someone feels like they're not beautiful, these kind of things.
No, but it starts off good. Like even for example, like if you read about
just to not go into extremes in it, like in the sense, you know, if I sit there and I'm like, oh, do you know what, this guy or this girl thinks that I'm X, Y, and Z. So you know, now imagine there's a brother and someone goes and says, bro, you look bare off key with your beard, you know.
But the maddest thing is, I think it's a thing from Umar Khattab. The people that criticize me, they have given me a gift greater than the people that I'm closer with that don't.
Because they'll obviously help you improve. So he's talking about critiquing one's persona.
No, it's everything. If someone comes and tells you, bro, your beard is bald, why not look in the mirror and say, you know what, maybe there's something I can do about it. Maybe I can look after it more. Maybe I can take care of myself more. Or if someone comes and tells you you're fat,
so try putting a positive spin to it.
Yeah, it's everyone takes offense to everything now. It's way too much. You can't make innocent jokes anywhere without somebody talking rubbish about you know. You can't. People are even afraid to accept their own deen. I don't want to go out there wearing niqab, jilbab, this, that, because it's not normal. People are going to look at me funny. What do you mean people are going to look at you funny? This is your deen. You know? If anybody makes you feel uncomfortable about your deen, you're around the wrong person.
So I'm just going to, again, for anyone obviously listening, when Ramadan Radio 87.9 FM, you can call in 012-361-7590. I think in the next few weeks, we're going to start taking in more calls, inshallah. We're going to take in calls, actually. I'm going to do live call-ins where people can sort of relay questions to any of the guests that come in. I'm just the guy that just hosts people. They call it the background noise. I got a third party in the studio. He's literally got his head down. Sheikh.
Fasting's getting to a lot of people, man.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh. This is me trying to communicate with the third party. It's literally, that's what happens. Fasting is getting to it, mashallah. Right. Last few things before we obviously close off, because we're coming to a close. In terms of growing up, obviously, what sort of tips would you give the public? So right now, imagine the public was right now in front of you. I mentioned it to the guests because we want to take some benefit. Ad-din nasiha, this religion is a religion of counsel, to give good counsel. And a Muslim is a mirror to his or her fellow Muslim. So let's say now, obviously, you've got the 400-500 people listening in, thousands, could be millions if Abu Sufyan is on show, you know, and they're sitting there.
I'm not there.
What counsel would you give them? 3 counsels or 3 things that you would give them as counsel.
Okay, first one is stop wasting time. Everyone lives as though they're gonna live forever. And again, it's because of the public figures that you look at and stuff, like people saying YOLO and just do this. Oh, this something's haram here. Don't do it. Don't do it. Then, oh, you know what? You only live once. Let's do it. But it all comes down to wasting time. Everyone feels like they're gonna live forever. They do so much, and I'm gonna sort myself out later.
So
Procrastinate
utilizing
everything.
time.
Everything that's good for your life gets delayed till later. You don't know if you're gonna live till later. It's obviously we get getting deep into it. I know people that go through actually health issues, and then they're told, oh, you may die, you may pass away, you've got cancer, you've got this long left. Well, Allah's told you from the very beginning that life is short. You may die anytime. Allah's been telling you from day, but only because the doctors told you now. You're taking life a bit more seriously. Because it's people are not taking life seriously at all. It's these distractions. And again, I think Muslim Bilal, who's going to be a weekend, he said this. It's like Shaitan, he glorifies his things that are not good for you. Everything, it seems beautiful. This is fun. This is attractive. This is good. And everything that's bad for you gets beautified so much. But everything that's good for you is seen boring. It's this, it's that. Go to masjid, praying salah. I'd rather go to a shisha club or chill. This is that. Pray salah at home. But again, in Ramadan, if you're just praying your salah at home and tarawih at home, this is that, you're not really getting the beauty of it. You're not
not reaping the
understanding. Yeah,
benefits.
exactly. You're not reaping the benefits. So it's, again, that's what wasting time is the one. The company you keep, again, I keep going back to it. I think it's one of the most important ones. If you're not around good people, you need to change the people you're around. It's good people will always help you to do better. Good people will always make sure you're okay. If you can't look at the people around you right now, if I tell you right now, tell me one person in your life that you can genuinely say, it should be at least 5, but let's just say 1. How many people out there can say, I have a friend of mine that wants me and cares only about where I'm going to be in the hereafter? That every time I seek counsel from this person, they give me good advice. They remind me of Allah. They remind me that I should turn to Allah for everything, and I should never go astray. They remind me to be patient. And they've always been there for me when I've needed them with no hidden motive. Very rarely people can even name one. Really and truly one. And again, how often do you as a person go and call people? Call somebody you like? Just generally, how are you doing? How are you? Are you okay? How's family? Just checking on somebody. Sometimes you don't realize just checking in that one person, just that once, can save them from so much. There's a brother here I was with the other day. Hope you don't mind me sharing what happened. He was talking about his brother every day was shouting, oh, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. Oh, bro, my head's mash up. This, that. Oh, I'm going through it. I can't handle this. I can't handle this. Suddenly he got a phone call one day that he committed suicide. And then afterwards, all these questions come in your head. What if I just picked up the call? This guy was asking for help all this time. I just ignored it, thinking that he's just chatting rubbish. Or sometimes you need to take that step back and actually listen to people. It's mad. You're going through a lot. People need that help, and there's very rarely anyone there to help them. There's not enough people out there that genuinely care anymore.
So utilizing time, companionship, and what's the last counsel you give before I close off today?
Just do at least one thing a day that will help you remember of Allah. Just one thing, even if it's like, you know what, once a day, I'm going to sit down and just watch one talk, one video. Nowadays, there's so many like 5-minute talks you can watch. Just get straight to the point. This is a good bit. Even just do one of those. And as well as I'll say, even though you have a busy schedule, everyone's got so many goals and stuff in their life, and they have in their life. Try to spend one day, which is just a family day.
Right, brothers and sisters, Barakallah fiik, Abu Sufyan. That was Abu Sufyan coming on Ramadan Radio 87.9 FM. I'm going to be away, inshallah, next week. We're coming up to the last 10 days.
Yeah,
last 10 days, I think, from tomorrow, inshallah. Or is it today? No, from tomorrow.
Tomorrow,
inshallah. So if I don't obviously Well, I won't be here next week if I don't get to obviously speak to the brothers and sisters listening. I'm going to give my last counsel for those listening, because this may be the last time that you actually hear my voice. As they say, my general advice for the brothers and sisters that are listening in, and these are my 3 advices to everybody, especially over the last few weeks, is that if you're going through something when it comes to mental health difficulty, if you're going through isolation, if you're going through difficulties in terms of pain, remember you have a meeting with Allah to look forward to. This is something that was reminded to me 10, 15 years back. I remember a brother said this to me in the park, that whatever you're going through, remember you have a meeting with Allah. The very fact that you're going to go meet your Lord, it should be a meeting that people look forward to. This is the Lord that gives with no restrictions, the Lord that owns everything, the Lord that simply intends a matter, and it is. So whatever you're going through, remember who Allah is and that you have a Lord who is Allah. So no problem is greater than your Lord. So that's my first counsel. The second is the fact that you are amongst the ummah of the greatest man that walked on this earth, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and that we should try utilizing the last 10 days to study on his seerah. Of course, read Quran, but study on the master Muhammad, peace be upon him, and the legacy that he's left behind. A lot of us what we tend to do is we tend to resort towards the sunnah when we have problems. But if we actually study the sunnah, even at ease, then it would remove the difficulties from coming, as I say, prevention better than cure. And my last counsel was very similar to what Abu Sufyan said, is that try doing one good deed a day. It was something that was said to me, that Allah is at the service, or Allah is at the service of his servants, those that are service at others. Meaning, if you are at the service of others, Allah will be at your aid. And Allah says this in the Quran, that help in the cause of Allah and Allah will help in your cause. So obviously you try promoting one good deed a day, even if it is smiling. A lot of the brothers out there, what they tend to do, I think, when they start practicing, it's some new thing, bro. When I started, I remember going to the masjid years back, first time, bro, you see bare brothers, bro. Just once they start practicing, they think if they make a angry face, that's part of deen. Listen, brothers coming up to me,
Show that they're serious.
yeah, like I need to give some stiff handshake, bro. Like my hands were coming off, bro. My man's like, he needs to show me that he's hitting the gym. That, bro, I hit the gym, bro, and I'll tell you how you know I hit the gym, with my firm handshake. I'm like, bro, you need to start smiling, bro. From when I last left it off, bro, smiling was free, bro. Definitely didn't start charging. So yeah, that's our counsel. Barakallah fiik for obviously listening in. I'm gonna let Abu Sufyan have the last comment before I shut off. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
If I have one last comment, it will be, okay, yeah, quick last one bit of advice. If you're going through hell, keep going. Why would you want to stop at hell? Why, when you're going through hardship, does everyone just stop where they are? Just keep going, get to the end, inshallah, and then look back and help everyone else get through it as well.
And just to add, you can also call Abu Sufyan 1 o'clock in the morning. Assalamu alaikum.
Anytime. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.